we've gone over all the problems up to number 5. So now we're on number 6. So again, to get the x-intercepts of any equation, always let the letter y equal 0 and just solve it from there on. Okay? And you guys notice that you're going to get 6x plus 0 is equal to 18. You can pretty much write it as 6x equals 18. Everybody okay right there? Anything I've done that's gone too far? Too fast? No? What would you do next to solve it? 5 by 6. X is equal to 18 over 6, but you're never going to leave your answers as fractions if you can reduce them. But can you simplify it to your answers? Okay, what do you get? X equals 3. That means that on the x-axis, the graph touches at x equals 3. It's not, is it asking you to graph the equation? No. It's not asking you to graph. Okay? Everybody okay how to get the x-intercept? All right. And then put there in your paper to get the y-intercept. This is how easy it is. Does anybody remember it already now? This way. The other way. Can you remember that now? Plus you have it in your notes? Yeah? Okay. So to get that y-intercept, same equation, okay? Just in this case, just let x equal 0 to start. You notice I'm going to get 6 times 0 plus 3y equal to 18. That's 3y is equal to 18 because that's gone. 6 times 0 is going to be 0. I don't need to put the plus 0 anymore, right? Yeah. That's going to give me a 0, right? And then last step should be fairly simple, isn't it? Divide by 3. And as long as you get y to be a positive 1y, then you're good. You don't have any other steps. Now 18 over 3 is 6. All right, so box those answers. X-intercept is 3, y-intercept is 6. Okay, did I go too fast? No, is everybody okay right there? Okay. So when you see that on the test, you understand how to do that? Yeah? Take a look at this problem. It says graph the equation. Now you guys all understand you guys are going to have the graphing calculators as well. Yeah? Some of them you don't need the graphing calculator for it. You should be able to, like the last one, just get the x and y intercepts. That one should be pretty basic. Substitute 0. Yeah. All right. Graph the equation y equals negative 1/2 x squared minus 2 and x minus 2y on the same axis. So that's part of the question, is graphing it. You can either type them in the graphing calculator, or if you remember, slope-intercept form says y equals mx plus b. The y-intercept is negative 2. So go to the negative 2 on the y-axis. That's right there. Okay, so down there. And then the slope is negative 1 over 2. That means to do what from this point? Not up 1. Down, because the negative. The negative usually on the fraction of the slope will always refer to the top value. So go down 1 to the right. So you put another dot right there, and you'll just connect those. So I'll go ahead and give everybody a ruler, and we get some nice straight lines here. Okay. And connect those two dots as best as you can. Bring it up here right there. All right, now do you notice that the second equation is not in slope-intercept form? That one is called in standard form. So do me a favor. Put it right here. Since it's not in slope-intercept form, don't assume by looking at it you can get the slope of the y-intercept. You have to actually rewrite it. But I want to show you something. Because it's in standard form, if I let y equals 0, what am I going to solve for? The x-intercept. So all I'll do is I'll go to the x-axis at that number and draw a dot. What's the x-intercept? 4. Go to the x-axis at 4. Place the dot right there. Everybody okay with that part right there? Now, since I got the x-intercept, it would make sense to do what next? Get the y-intercept. So, that leaves me with negative 2y equals 4. What would you do next? And what's the y-intercept? Go to the y-axis at negative 2, draw a dot there. You notice there's a dot there already? Connect them. Check this out. It says, hey, find the slope, y-intercept, and x-intercepts of each equation, right? Well, you had to graph them first of all, okay? All right, so finding the slope of the first equation, y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2. Well, the slope is m, which is negative 1/2. The y-intercept is negative 2. I haven't done the x and the y-intercepts on that equation yet, but I know that the y-intercept is the same as the b value, which is also y-intercept. So when you get the y-intercept in slope-intercept form, you've already gotten it. You got the slope. Now to get the x-intercept, I got to let y equal 0. So to get the x-intercept, I got to let y equal 0. And then I'm going to solve that for x. So that means I'm going to add 2 to both sides. That'll give me 2 is equal to negative 1/2 x. How do I solve that for x? I want to get this out of the way. Multiply the reciprocal. Everybody remember the reciprocal of negative 1/2 would be negative 2 over 1 to both sides. Or you could just say negative 2 to both sides. That'll give me x over here by itself. Negative 1/2 times a negative 2 over 1 gives me a positive 1x. So that'll give me x equal to, what's negative 2 over 1 times 2? Negative 4. So here's my x-intercept. Here's my y-intercept. Here's my slope. All right, say find the slope, y-intercept, and x-intercepts of each equation. You have your hand up? Sitting right here. Yeah, that's negative 2 over 1 because I'm multiplying by the reciprocal of negative 1 over 2. Okay? Now we have to get the y-intercept for the other one. Give me 1 second here. Copy of that. First, let me show you real quick how to rewrite x minus 2y equals 4. Hopefully you already attempted it. To put it in slope-intercept form, which is right here, you have to get the y by itself. So the first thing you should have done was minus x to both sides. That would give you a negative 2y equal to a negative x plus 4. Those two, you can't combine those, okay? You guys should remember that from algebra. Yeah. And now the next thing is you can't leave the y with anything other. It's got to be a positive 1, right? So divide everything by negative 2. Everybody okay right there? Right, that'll give you 1y equal to a negative over a negative is a positive. That's 1 over 2 times x. Positive over a negative is a negative 1. Notice the y-intercept is negative 2, and the slope was up 1 to the right 2. So now we know the slope of the graph is 1/2. We know the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Our work is already there. Yes? Okay. And I was able to fit everything in the space provided. Okay? All right. Now, we've answered A. Okay? All right, so is everybody okay when I did this here? I already know that they intersected at the same y-intercept. I know the coordinates of that y-intercept, 0, negative 2. I wrote underneath here solution to the system. So I just checked it, and I have a solution so far for one of them. It has to work for both of them, okay? If it doesn't, it just means our picture's off, okay? So here's the second part. X minus 2y equals 4. Go ahead and plug in 0 for x and negative 2 for y. Okay? Go ahead and do that. Everybody okay that that's true? It's 4 is equal to 4? Do you see how I'm simplifying all that? All right, does it check that? Checks off there, checks off there. You have just shown me algebraically from your graphs that you think this is the answer. Algebraically, you just proved that it is where they intersect. That's one way to do it, okay? The other one was systems of equations. You would plug one into the other one, solve for x first, then whatever you get from there, plug that back into the other equation, solve for y. It's a little bit more work, but that is another way to do that, okay? I do want to show you that work because it is something that you are going to need to be able to do, okay? All right, so I'm just going to go through the steps of the other way to do it algebraically. So if you want to find some space somewhere on your paper that you have available so you can write this work down, okay, whether it's on the back or somewhere, just put a note on there. This is where the work is fitting, okay? Now this is back from Algebra 1, okay? Way back from Algebra 1. All right, so here's what happens. When you are solving a system of equations algebraically, you want to make sure that one of the equations can be substituted into the other one. So I want you to look at this part that I'm circling. All of that equals the letter y, right? So I'm going to plug all of that where I see the letter y in the other equation, okay? Everybody okay right there? My football play that I'm starting to kind of form right there? You see where my arrows are going? Yeah? Okay. So here's all I'm going to do. x minus 2, but instead of y, I'm going to plug in y. Perfect. All of that equals 4. Okay? Stop me right there if this doesn't make sense. Everybody okay now? And the reason why you do this is because you notice now there's no y's in this problem anymore. So now we're going to simplify this. That negative 2 is going to be distributed into those two terms. Okay? And that'll give me the x, haven't done anything with it, okay? Negative 2 times negative 1/2 is a positive 2 over 2, which is the same as 1. X. Negative 2 times a negative 2 is a positive 4. Equal to 4. All right, now I know this looks pretty simple, but if I've lost you, let's say something to me, okay? You see where everything has come from now? It's starting to look like, wait, that looks really easy. Can I combine these two terms right here? Now, what do they give you? Okay. Plus 4 equal to 4. Don't freak out. What's the next step? Okay, factor both sides. That's gone, that's gone. Don't freak out. That's just 2x equal to 0. Divide by 2. X, whenever 0's on the top, that's okay, remember? It's when 0's on the bottom. You can't do that type of division ever. Remember when we typed it in on the calculator, didn't let us do anything? Yeah? Okay. 0 divided by any number is always going to be 0. If it was the other way around and it said 2 divided by 0 right there, there's no solution. You cannot do that division. Yes? Everybody okay right there? Yeah? Now, if x is 0, put x into the other equation now. And do you notice you already know what the y value is? I don't even really need to write it, but I know. Yeah? That's just y equals negative 2. Was this the coordinates that you guys had set? 0, negative 2? So here's the other way to do it algebraically. Whichever way you thought was easier for you. Okay? All right, do you remember this stuff? Yeah? Makes sense? You don't have to do both of them. One of them. So just everybody see which one might be easier for you. Yeah? All right, so first C, explain how the answer in B relates to the graph. So the solution that we checked, 0, negative 2, that's where the two graphs intersect, which is called the solution to the system, and you would write that in a sentence format. Yes? Okay.